Here we are in San Francisco. My oldest son lives here, and he told me to bring some FERONITE over. He had a few rust issues. First with the roof racks, we've already treated them, and there's a little bit of rust here. But the main one is down here. See this? Looks like it's rusting from the outside, but it's not. It's coming along this seam. We checked under here, the seam's not under there. It's actually inside the car. Here we are, we've found the culprit. This is the seam inside the vehicle. So we've pulled the lining off, and there's a water tank there for the rear window wiper. And sure enough, it must have been leaking somewhere along the line. And we've now got all this rust in here. Look at it. So water's actually come right through the seam, and because the seam's been wet, it's allowed it to go rusty. And I'd say when they've restored the van, what they've done, they've just tidied up the outside and painted over it, whereas they should have used some FERONITE. So here we are in San Francisco, and we're FERONITing. Okay, I cleaned all the loose rust up with our trusty screwdriver, got rid of all the loose stuff in there, and see that? We just got rust, got rid of all the loose paint, and now I've put some FERONITE in there. See, I haven't got it right up that end, so I'll get in the other side. We're feeding it down here as well, because that joint's actually open, and it's going to run to the outside. So the idea, we left the seam wet, so that as the FERONITE goes in, it'll seep through that joint, and any rust that's in between the seams, it'll get it, and hopefully it'll weep right to the outside, and that'll stop any rust coming up in future. So we worked out what's caused this. It's the windscreen wiper bottle, and what's happened, the hose is degraded. See here? The sun's got to it over the years and it's cracked, and it must run back a bit in the boot shuts, or the back door shuts, and allows the water to run back down the hose, and it's all landed where the hose comes out of the pump, the little pump here in the back. That's where the water's come down the hose and caused the problem. So we've got our first coat of FERONITE on. We'll let that dry, and then we'll put another coat on. This is a rusty area from the outside. When Brett put the screwdriver into the paint, it just peeled off, and so it's peeled right back, and now he's putting the FERONITE on and letting it wick in. So the surface was wet and in, and first coat on and let it run along, and then let that dry out, and then put another coat on to play safe. Here's our side window all FERONITed up. Nice and new. No one would ever know there was rust there, especially if it had a coat of black paint put on it down the track. Got our second coat of FERONITE on this fella back here, and it's a little slow going off because it's fairly late, but we'll check it out tomorrow. I left the FERONITE overnight, and it's done its thing. It's gone black. It's also running along the joint in the seam of the metal panel, and any rust that's along those seams, it's tidied that up as well. So that's what she's like once it's fully cured. That's inside. That's what we got outside. That's two coats on. I'm going to bash out and put another coat on that, and that'll seal it up really well. We normally just put two coats on, never just one, because when you got rust and when it goes in like this, it may not seal and prime microscopic pores. Rust can get back in, so we always put a second coat on to play safe. Because we've got loose paint there and we want to make sure it's run down behind the paint, I'm going to go around and put another coat on to make sure we got it all. Anyway, that's it. That's her repaired. Now it just needs painting. Inside, you don't have to worry about it. The reason we paint it is to keep UV away from it. If you don't paint it, the sealer paint will break down within about 12 months, and you'll start to get any moisture, the rust will start to come back again. So it's important to always put paint over it. In this case, it'll just be to make it look pretty.